Hello class, we're going to be using a graphing calculator and we're going to use it to create a scatter plot. In particular, for this example, we see the number of cricket chirps in 15 seconds for different air temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to plot this data and determine whether the data appears to be linearly related or not. So here our chirps are going to represent our x value that's independent, and the temperature will be our y values. So chirps are x and temperature is y. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my graphing calculator. And here it is. This is my graphing calculator. So the first thing you might want to know is how to turn this calculator on, if you don't already know. So just make sure you know that this is going to be the on button right here. Okay, notice how it's blinking. That's how I know it's on. So in order to go to the scatter plot, you can see here that the scatter plot is in blue, but you have this y equals. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the y equals, and notice how I have an equation in here. I'm going to go ahead and clear it by pressing the clear button. And that clears the equation in my y values. Now, in order to make sure that my scatter plot is on, I need that plot 1 to be shaded. So I'm going to go up, press enter, and go back down. Now that it is shaded, I know that the plot is going to be on. If I wanted to take it off, I would just go back up and press enter, and now my scatter plot is off. So notice how it's not shaded. So I'm gonna go back up, press enter, go back down, and I definitely know that my scatter plot is on when it is shaded. Now I need to input my x and my y values. In order to do that, I'm gonna go to stat. So once I go to stat, I have edit, calc, or test. I want to go where it says edit. It's already shaded, and I want to go to number 1, which is edit. It's already kind of highlighted for me, so I'm just going to go to enter. Notice how I have L1, L2, L3, L4. You should have these L's in order. If not, make sure to go to the Math Success Center to help you clear your memory. So in order to have my L1, my L2, this is going to be my x values. These are going to be my y values for L2. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to go back down. So now that clears all the data that I had for my y. Now I'll go to my L1, go to the very top, press clear, and go back down. Remember, my L1 is going to represent my x values. So here I'm going to plug in my 44, 35, and I just press enter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of my x values here. So notice how all of the x values are in my L1s. So 26 was my last x value for my chirps, so 26 is the last value in my L1. Now I'm going to input my y values, the temperature, into L2. So notice how that first y value is 80.5. So I'm going to go ahead and press the right button so I can go over to my L2. And I'm going to put in that first y value, the temperature of 80.5. I press enter. And I'm going to go ahead and enter all of those y values into my L2. So I went ahead and put in all of my y values into L2. Notice how that last y value for temperature is 53, so I plug in 53. So now what I want to do in order to actually see the scatter plot, I'm going to go ahead and go to zoom. So zoom is here at the very top, so zoom. And I want to go to zoom stat. So I'm going to press the down button and go all the way down to number 9. Now that I'm here, see how it's shaded, I'm going to go to enter. And this represents this data here. So notice how the x values are the chirps, and the y values are the temperature. So I plot this data, and it's asking me to determine whether the data appears to be linearly related. So does this look like a line? Well, it's definitely not a perfect line, but it definitely resembles some sort of line. It's not random. So I would say yes, it does represent, the data represents a linear model. I hope that helps.